So we're in Paris today, and our special guest is Mila.
Yeah.
Mila. And Mila, can you tell me where are you from?
I'm from Switzerland.
From Switzerland.
Yeah,
And I met you at the animation event that Blondie is hosting.
exactly.
When I saw Mila, she was adding flexibility into her movements, and I was interested in just hearing your story and how you got into dance and everything about that.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question is, how did you get into dance?
So the first time I tried dancing, I was a little kid, and it was actually a hip hop class, but I wasn't very good at it because it was mostly choreo, and I'm not the best at choreo, and it was already like this when I was a kid.
Uh,
So I stopped pretty quickly. But then a few years later, when I was in middle school, a friend of mine who was doing popping and locking classes told me, "Oh yeah, you should come once."
mm,
So I did, and then it just clicked. It
mm.
was absolutely amazing.
Wow, wow. And then from there, how long have you been popping for?
So at first I was doing mostly locking,
Okay.
and then I started popping more when I was at the end of high school or already at uni. It was probably between 5 and 7 years ago. I started popping more seriously.
Wow. And now I noticed you add your flexibility to your movement.
Yeah,
What made you incorporate flexibility into your dance?
I'm actually hypermobile, so I thought it would be a good idea to just integrate this into my dance
Mhm.
because it makes it more original and it gives me some individuality because you don't expect a popper to just do the splits
Mhm.
during a round, and I like being like doing stuff that's unexpected.
Unexpected. Is this a way when you're creating movement, or do you, what's your mind when you're trying to think of or create something different, like creativity? What would you say is the way your mind works?
uh, it's probably making like creating stuff that's original and creating stuff that is that shares an emotion
Hmm.
because dancing for me is a way to share my emotion and to feel emotion as well from the crowd, from the people who are watching, from the people who I'm battling against,
Hmm.
and doing so makes it creates a universe. It
Hmm.
creates something, and it makes you feel the energy.
Hmm. When you say the emotion of sharing the emotions with others, are you saying like sad, happy, angry, different emotions when you're dancing, or?
I'd say usually I try to share positive emotions because I don't want to make people in front of me angry or sad.
Hmm.
But I feel like dance is also a good way to share more negative emotions. Uh, but mainly when it's maybe in a show or something like this,
Mhm.
when there's a sad scene or something like that, where you want people to feel the sadness that's happening.
Mhm.
But usually when I dance in a cipher or when I'm battling, I'm trying to share positive emotions and not the negative ones.
The negative ones. I see. Now, going back to you said you're from Switzerland.
Yeah,
What is the dance community like in Switzerland?
it is pretty small,
Mm.
especially in the popping scene, where like in the city where I'm from, we're probably around five
Mm.
or so because popping is not very popular in
Mm.
Switzerland, and but there's something that's good about it. Is that the community is way more friendly.
In Switzerland.
Yeah,
The,
the popping community is way friendlier than the hip hop community, I would say,
mm.
because since we're not a large number, we like to support each other, and there's way more hype for the people who are dancing. And I can see that when I go to events where there's a popping battle and a hip hop battle, usually during the popping battle, the poppers are friendlier towards each other because we're not that many, so we can't really have a hard competition between us. Because if we do that, then the community might just divide more, and
Right.
we might not have a community anymore.
Wow. Do you feel, because I know this isn't your first time in Paris, correct? You've been to,
Yeah, I've been to Paris once
okay,
before.
once. And where else have you traveled around the world?
Around the world, I went to the US many times, but when I was a kid, so I wasn't dancing yet.
Okay.
For dance, I went to Germany.
Germany.
I did my first battle outside of Switzerland was in Constance in Germany. I was very stressed out.
Oh.
But it was very fun, and I knew a couple people there as well, so it helped me calm down.
Okay.
I went to Freiburg in Germany as well to meet up with some friends that I met at a battle, and I stayed at their place, and I met the popping community there in Freiburg as well, and they were all very nice, so it was very fun. And yeah, that's about it for dance.
For dance. Wow. Is there something you notice different from Switzerland compared to Germany, Paris, when it comes to dance?
It's hard to compare to Paris because both times I've been to Paris was for the animation week. So it's our small circle, which means that I don't really know the maybe competition that might happen between dancers in France, because we're a small group and we dance together and we practice together. So I don't really know how it is actually if I would come here for another occasion. And it's kind of the same for Germany, because when I went there, I went with friends and it was their group of friends as well. So I never went somewhere completely by myself and tried to find dancers to share something. So it's hard to compare because I didn't get the, let's say, full experience of Paris and Freiburg and Constance.
I see, I see. And how long have you been, how many years you've been dancing?
I started dancing when I was 13.
13.
And now I'm soon going to be 26.
26.
So it's been a while.
Wow, like 13 years.
Yeah.
Are there any moments that you felt were very influential, very memories that you'll never forget that stand out from other moments in your journey? Maybe people you've met, things that have happened to you, anything comes up?
I've met amazing people through dancing. I've had some friends that I know since the beginning of my dancing, not career, but I don't really know what word to use. But yeah, I've met some amazing people. I've met some people who are not from Switzerland as well, which means that I can travel to see them and discover the dance community where they live. That's the case for those two friends that I met at a battle in Bern. Those two friends who live in Freiburg. And yeah, that's may be able to go there and discover the community. So I'd say it's mostly community related.
Community related. Would you say that there is a value of traveling outside of your country? Like, do you find that, oh yes, I would tell people travel, or would you feel not everyone? What do you feel about traveling?
I'd say it's very nice to travel because it lets you discover different communities. Because again, community is very important in dancing, I feel like, and it lets you meet new people and create new connections, and then you're able to travel even more. And it's also good because you can practice with different people, especially when you're from a country where the community is small. You end up always practicing with the same people, which means that it's harder to maybe progress because you're always seeing the same thing, which isn't bad because it's usually my friends, so I love seeing them dance.
Right.
And we always share good times, but it's also good to expand your horizons a little bit and see other stuff.
Yes. Just try something different.
Exactly.
Then you learn something different.
Exactly.
Yes. Is there a dancer that you feel inspired you a lot? Or maybe not even dance, it could be outside of dance that inspired you.
Not, I mean, not necessarily in the sense that I don't have what I would call an idol in dancing.
Okay.
I let myself get inspired by basically everyone I dance with, because I feel like everybody has something to offer, has something to share. So anybody could inspire me.
Anyone can inspire you.
Exactly.
You're open to it.
Yeah.
Inspire.
That's it.
Wow. Is there something that you would like to see more in the dance world? Is there something?
I'd say I'd like to see maybe a bit, not that the dancing is not creative, but maybe a bit more different stuff, because I feel like sometimes people end up being copies of each other, which is not necessarily a bad thing because there is still some individuality anyway, but maybe a little bit more of that.
Individuality.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think is stopping that? Why don't we see that?
Maybe because for now, and I speak from my perspective, which because I use something that's different, that's not unexpected to popping. Usually, I don't pass the pre-selection because of that. I might pass in an all-size battle, but usually in a popping battle, I won't go through. And I think maybe this is kind of stopping creativity, because people don't necessarily battle only to be there and have this experience, but some people battle really to win as well, which is fair because it's a competition.
Right.
But if you know that you won't go through the preselections, if you do stuff that's out of the box, maybe you try not to be out of the box.
Right.
To be able to dance more during the battle.
Right. So it's like a balance.
Exactly.
It's like I will. That's interesting. Do you feel that it's like people have to cover parts of themselves? Maybe they can't express what they want to do. It's kind of in order to advance in the contest.
I feel like I would have to do that to advance in the competition, and I don't really want to, because I feel like I would lose a part of myself if I did that. And I'm not in other people's head, so I can't say for sure for them.
Right.
But it might be related to that.
I see. Now, again, you've said you've been dancing for about 13 years. You've been, is there any goals in the future that you're like, oh, I want to do this, or I want to experience this? Is there something in the future you want to experience, a goal?
I'd like to, first of all, travel a bit more for dance, because I haven't traveled that much. And I want to get better as well, meet new people, to, again, back to the community, to have this community of people that I can trust and with whom I share a passion. So that's the main goal for now. Just be able to travel more, to meet new people, and
yeah. Where would you like to go next?
It's hard to say. I'd really like to go to the US for dancing.
Hey.
Because yeah, it's very different there than it is in Europe. I don't know everything about the culture there, because obviously the last time I went to the US I was 9 years old and I didn't dance yet.
Right.
So I don't really know the dancing culture there, but I know that there are some amazing people, and I would like to learn from them.
Wow. Yeah. USA definitely has a very they're different, definitely different, and I know a lot of the styles come from the
Yeah,
USA, so there's that as well. Wow. I guess my last question I would like to ask you is if if you could have everyone in the world listen to you, what is something you would like to share with the world?
that's a hard one. You're putting me on the spot here. I'd say share as much kindness
Mm,
as you can,
mm,
because I've seen that when I go to someone and compliment them, it could be dance related or not.
mm,
Usually, it brightens their day,
mm,
and I'd like to see this more,
mm.
to have more kindness shared in the world.
Kindness.
Yeah,
Just take, even if it's not in dance, just in life,
yeah, exactly,
just being kind.
exactly. Just go to people and share kindness, compliment people,
Compliment.
compliment them on their dance, compliment them on their style,
Mm,
because you might meet amazing people that way.
right. That's opens people's heart to
Exactly.
talk and learn, and then more community.
Yeah.
So, wow. Thank you, Mila, for sharing your thoughts. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah.
And
Same.
also, thank you for helping me get around Paris. And the week isn't over. It's not over yet.
It's not over
So
yet.
I'm excited. Thank you for sharing this place as well.
Yeah, it's an amazing place.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you again.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks to
that.
you.
And there we go. We did it. Thank you so much for real for taking time to share your
My
just
pleasure.
how you see the world and your experiences.
Mm,
So, and the kindness part, yeah, that really I think when people are kind, like what you're saying, it people you don't know what people are going through in their
yeah,
life, you know. I think we all have something happening
yeah, exactly.
and just to say, "Hey, I love what you're doing," or "Really great job," it really,
Yeah,
brings people together.
yeah, that's actually how I met those friends from Freiburg. I went to them and I was like, "Oh, I love your style."
Wow.
And then we started talking a little bit, and a couple months later I was at their place hanging out in Freiburg.
Wow.
So yeah, that's why I think I said something like this. Or
Hmm.
for example, I complimented an old lady because she had a cane with some, like, with a cool design on it,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Oh, sorry, ma'am, I don't want to disturb you, but I really like your cane. It looks very nice."
Yeah.
And then she gave it to me so I could see it better, and
Oh,
we talked for a little bit, and it was very fun, and she was very happy about it.
wow.
So, and that's pretty hard to do for me because I have a lot of anxiety.
Hmm.
But usually when I try, it works well.
Yes. It's like you're even though the anxiety is there, you still
I push through.
push
Yeah.
through. Yes. Wow. Yeah. I love how we still got that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Any last things you want to say or share? I can cut it at any moment, but if there's anything you want to say or
No, not necessarily. Just thank you for this opportunity.
yeah.
It's very nice and I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.